All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and others. Welcome back to the Nipaa TV show. I'm your host, Nipaa, and Nipaa TV, Nipaa. I don't know. I'm kind of in between names right now, but I changed it to just Nipaa. Anyways, let's get to the point of this, which is welcome to Nipaa's Castations. We're going to be commentating some StarCraft Brood War again. So, you know what to do. You know what we're going to do. We're going to get the wheel of fun here. There it is. And we'll figure out which matchup we do first for this game, which is happening right now. Of course, a ZVP. That seems to be on like the mind of everybody today, because I was looking at the replays and all the S tier games in the first 9 pages were PVZs only. It was crazy. But let's give the people what they want. First map, Deja Vu ZVP. Let's get to it. There it is. Okay. Map is Deja Vu. We got on the top left of the map, we have Waiko Tokyo as the Protoss. And then the bottom left, we have Teal, Zerg, C9, Chao Growang. I believe we've seen both these players before. Map is Deja Vu. Never commentated on this map before, but it looks pretty cool so far. You got the center here with the mineral patches, which could definitely force a fight in the center at some point. Definitely late game. I think we have yet to see a game where both players end up fighting over the center. But here we are. All right, so yeah, let's take a look at the map. We have 2 eggs here. Interestingly enough, this left egg isn't over in this corner. It's just right in the center here, which I wonder if this is the technical corner piece of the wall off. Who knows? But, wow, crazy. Starting off the game, we have a probe putting down a pylon in the center of the map. We're going to see some proxy pylon buffoonery. We'll see some 2 gates most likely, or a single gate pressure into fast expand. We will certainly see. There's the first gateway. Let's see how our Zerg buddy prevails. He is getting a spawning pool first, so he will be able to defend this relatively easily as compared to a hatch first. If they did a hatch first, they would have been absolutely screwed. We have 2 gateways. There's that second gateway. So we will see some zealots pumping out. Do we see? I don't think we see. We do see some more probes in production. I wonder if we will see a Nexus come up soon. Zerg could certainly do a Zergling run by if they defend against the zealots with you know, a sunken colony. But we actually have 3 Zerglings. Interesting. It looks like Zerg was trying to go for some early aggression right now as well, and is saving up for a hatchery right now, which will plop down, which I imagine will be canceled once these zealots come out. And that, boy, are they coming out, because it is almost complete right here. First zealot is out in the field, not opting to attack move right now. Zerg has no idea. Here come the Zerglings. Drone is scouting as well. Here they come. And Zerg ends up seeing the proxy 2 gate and ends up actually just going past them and going to try to find their opponent. Actually a smart move, because the zealots are pulling back. 1 zealot at least. Probe and zealot combo. Okay, 2 zealots, 1 probe going to the Zerg base right now. And Zerg is not going to cancel their hatchery just yet. Looks like Zerglings are trying to maybe kind of cut off some... I don't know what they're doing. They're going to focus the pylon here to stop that zealot production. And actually, this is really smart from Zerg. They're not going to cancel the hatchery to buy a little bit more time for some sunken colony. There is a sunken colony in the main base, and Zerg is going to try to hold out as much as possible. We will most likely see a cancel like right at the last tick there of the loading. Lots going on right now, actually forcing the zealots to pull back. And does Zerg end up completing it? They do. So that's actually pretty smart too. Zerglings are going to do a full surround on some of the zealots. Zealots are kind of spread here. Zergling count's pretty high. Zerg doing an excellent job of defending. We have another pylon, and these gateways did get unpowered because of that Artosis pylon. Crazy stuff going on right now. We still have 1 zealot in the main base. Let's see if Protoss continues to commit here. It looks like they do. Zealot count is getting low in HP anyways. 2 zealots basically dying pretty soon here. 3 Zealots moving in full surround on the Zerglings. Focus fire. The micro is pretty strong. Zerglings pulling back smartly. And Zerg is going to end up having enough for some more Zerglings and eventually some drones once this defense is complete. An absolutely insane defense from C9 here. Got 4 Zealots moving in right now. I got a kitty on my leg right now. I am petting it. Petting him. So we're just going to move past the Zealots here. Looks like Whiteco is going to move in. And a huge Zergling count. Forge is going down. And there's nothing to defend the space. That one Zealot that was pulled back to defend actually ended up going into the offensive. So it looks like we are going to see a base race for sure. Probes being forced to try to focus fire the Zerglings. Hatchery does get focused down as well. Some more Zerglings. The Zerglings are still in the main base, destroying the economy of Protoss here, but we do have a Sunken Colony and some Zerglings to defend against these Zealots, but these Zealots are really beefy tanky. The Sunken Colony getting mutated right now is getting focused down. Nice micro on the Zerglings. Things are looking really good for our Zerg player. Ends up completely holding that defense, and there is the GG from Waiko Tokyo. Just an absolute excellent defense from our Zerg player here. A sick first game to start off the series here. Oops. All right. Let's see what our next one is. Looks like we're going to have a TVT. We're going to get the lamest one out of the way, in my opinion. Not a fan. Not a fan of TVT. Pretty boring to watch. But at an S tier level, we may think differently. I don't know why I'm speaking like we as in me, but that is strange. Anyway, we got TVT on the map Minstrel, another map we have not commentated before. So let's get to it. On the bottom right of the map, we have Mu Myung Terran, which I looked up Mu Myung for Korean. Myung, I think, means bright. Mu means little, or can mean little. Mu has 3 different meanings in Korean, I suppose, or from what I read on Dr. Google. So that would mean Little Bright Terran, if that's true. Don't know, but kind of a unique name. Kind of cool. Bottom right of the map, green, Mu Myung Terran. Top left, GLE. I don't think we've ever commentated either of these players, so that'll be interesting to watch. Brown Terran. Map is Minstrel. Natural, easy to defend. Third, kind of interesting here. Definitely a lot of space to harass. This base looks extremely exposed. And this one, too, seems like a TVZ or a PVZ. What I'm trying to say is Zerg on this map has a lot of rain for flanks and harassment. A little bit of an airspace here. Another base over here. That might be another spawn point. These two might be additional spawn points just based on... it might not be. I don't know. Definitely easy to secure. Giant ramp on this base as well. Yeah, we'll certainly see what happens. Will we see some Wraith harass, some Vulture harass? Both players will end up going mech as seen in many other TVTs, but that could be subject to change. You never know. Interestingly enough, we have 2 eggs here on this mineral field. And I guess that's to block any run-bys or zealot buffoonery there. Not sure. Not sure indeed. Got some bones in the center there. And we also have, of course, the center map with, believe it or not, we have half the usual mineral patches. We got 4 mineral patches here on these. Each of these bases, I think main bases have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, really. Yeah, it should be the same. So 9 mineral patches. So a little bit diminished minerals here, but you still have the full intake of gas. I think all gas. Okay, so that's interesting. It's actually half on gas too, because main base is 5,000. Center of the map here, we have about 2,000. So little under half, or significantly under half, I'd say, for sure. But yeah, we'll see. We don't see any proxy stuff going on. We actually see a command center on both sides. Both players ending up going the economic route. Not a bad thing at all. Might as well. Might stick to just 2 bases for TVT. Marine is going to try to focus down this SUV. Looks like it's going to barely get out 18 HP, but that was a little bit of a circle. I was going to say something really inappropriate. I'm not going to say that. Friends with Dirk. Little circle Dirk. Hey, that's a way to be clean about it. Circle Dirk. There you go. Command center's almost done. And yeah. Brown is scouting with that SV. It's really low. I don't know. This Marine will definitely take it out. There it goes. Didn't get much information. I think did barely see the edge of the command center there. So that is certainly interesting for Shizzle. Interesting. My streamer mode isn't activated. Who knows? This kind of weird, mate. Streamer mode activate. There we go. All right. And we're back. So we got a bunker up and running for a little bit of defense. Got 3 Marines in that bunker. And as predicted, 2 factories. Both players going incredible mech play. We've never seen it before. Sarcasm is real. And we have the iconic scouting barracks. Things are looking pretty standardito right now. And I don't think we see any starports because usually we do see some Wraiths or Valkyries that provide sight for the siege tanks. But it's probably a little too early to even get that starport. But it does pose the idea, will we see that? I think the answer may be yes. But we also have the iconic comsats that will more likely than not, be constructed as this game progresses. Do see some vultures, and we actually do see some spider mines being researched right now, so we will see some spider mine harass. This bunker, I think this is the only, in fact, Brown is the only one that has the bunker right now. So if there are vulture run-bys down on Green's base, then they will be more exposed, it seems. Brown is actually opting to go siege tank and siege research, going the defensive route as opposed to their opponent. So that is interesting to note because it may be a premonition for later on in this game. That was my cat. I apologize. Who's your good baby? Yes, you are. You want some loving? You have to come over here for some loving, little kitty. There you go. All right, the scouting barracks is heading over. Let's see how much it ends up scouting. We're probably going to see a full scout. We do see some faster vulture movements for Green here. We have 3 vultures on the map. These do have a spider mines. Will probably be placed down. There they go. Try to cut off some units or even some SUVs, even if that works. Some Marines are a little exposed there. Wraith is out on the field. Try to focus down this barracks. Those Marines got freaking annihilated there. And it actually does force a landing of that barracks. And the Wraith obviously does less damage to those ground forces. Vultures are moving out, trying to look for any third bases, any ninja bases. Siege tanks are on the field. And some siege tanks are actually going to be focusing down that barracks and actually smartly pulling back because these vultures were kind of positioning to try to do maybe a little bit of a run by. And these eggs actually getting focused down, interestingly enough, maybe to supply or to provide some kind of a flanking route for the future anyways, because these vultures can't really go through this base. Both naturals, as stated before, are in an incredibly easy position to defend for both naturals. Brown's barracks is still intact. We have ion thrusters being researched for Brown as well. Some vultures as well. Both players kind of being a little hands off right now. Green is definitely doing the most in terms of map control. These spider mines, I didn't realize the spider mines, it's obvious information, right? They provide a lot of sight, a lot of map control here, and really cool little kind of spider mine positioning here. Kind of looks like a bowl or an upside down bowl or a hat. Kind of nice because spreads out. Let's see. Okay, these spider mines are in a good position. Let's see how much damage they do. There is sight. One vulture goes down. One siege tank has 2 siege tanks in the red for their HP there. And actually, there was some other kill here. A marine just got focused down. SV is being pulled off the natural to try to repair the siege tanks after that excursion that we just saw. So there you go. Excellent stuff. Comsats are down for green as well, so we're going to see some Comsat wars, the classic Comsat wars in Terran. Siege tanks being placed in the line. World War I has begun. Kind of a nice position here for the siege tanks too, to cross this bridge. There's nothing that's going to cross that bridge without getting absolutely destroyed. And here we go. Vultures are going to move in. Looks like Brown is going to end up putting down the siege tanks. Vultures moving in to try to focus fire, and the siege tank count is simply too low. Brown has too many siege tanks and vultures to try to deal with this, but doing a nice job here. Green comes out, or sorry, Brown comes out on top, and actually a little bit of a drive-by with the vultures focusing down the reinforcing vultures of Brown. Let's see how much damage they can do. I'm going to venture to say quite a freaking bit, because these SCVs are exposed. There's only 2 siege tanks to defend. The rest of the siege tanks are out here on the bridge. This is not a good position for Green. Does a lot of damage, loses quite a bit of vultures, but does a crap ton of damage on top of that. This is some good stuff to see. We have a barracks moving out as well. Wraith going to focus down the green barracks. And Brown looks like they're just going to push. Brown knows that the ground forces of green is pretty low right now, substantially. There's a little bit of a push here. Siege tank in position. Some siege tanks actually out of siege mode. As you know, they provide more TPS out of siege mode. Here we go. We're going to see a little bit of a push here. Focus fire on, and the SCV is actually being forced to be pulled. Siege tanks are still in a good position. Some unsieged siege tanks, and actually some SCVs to repair the siege tanks. Offensively, rarely see that. Lots of damage being done. Green's vultures being used to try to focus fire some of these siege tanks, and still the boys being pulled. The boys are going to have to pull back. We have some siege tanks, reinforcing siege tanks from Young. Going to focus fire some of Brown's forces, but the siege tanks have plopped down. Definitely would behoove Green to pull back, and they do. We actually have a secret third base, which I neglected to mention, so Green is actually economically ahead. So if Green can hold, they're in a pretty good spot right now. And also, obviously, this ramp is looking really good, but Brown is going to be pushing in with the vultures, going to try to focus fire the siege tanks right now. Focus fire is pretty good. We simply don't have a lot of forces. Nice positioning on this siege tank on the top, on the high ground there. We have a comsat going down. Green is holding, doing an excellent job. Will Brown end up getting a third? The answer is no at this time. A little bit of dancing on both players right now. And here we go. Brown's going to end up moving on poise, having to be pulled right now. Wraith is actually in the fight. Siege tanks pulling out. We have some more Wraiths to try to focus fire that. Some siege tanks being produced right now desperately. Not enough factories to reinforce. Boys being pulled to take out the siege tanks, and an excellent defense from Green. We have ourselves a game, ladies and gentlemen, and others. This is pretty sick. Brown is going to have to pull back. And Green really paying off with these, the third base there, the economy. Definitely, yep, we do have a 5th factory, so we're going to see more production, which means more units, and that's actually GG from Brown. Green just holding on tight and having a third base, just turning the tide of that fight, looking real good. So let's go and spin that wheel. We'll see what we end up going on. It looks like it's going to be TVZ, the classic TVZ. Very fun matchup to watch. Go and remove that. Go and remove that. It's going to be on the map Dominator. It's our boy Moo Myung Terran versus 123 ST. Freaking gibberish, basically. The map is Dominator. We've seen this map before. It's the octopus map with the freaking tentacles coming out. It looks like a freaking free-for-all map. So, top left of the map, we have red as Moon Young Terran, as our Terran. Bottom left, we have gold, yellow, green, whatever that is, as the 123 SDF 34 FGDAF Zerg. There it is. TVZ, what will we see? Most likely, I feel like Zerg can get away with hatch first pretty easily, unless Terran ends up doing some bunker rush shenanigans. But based on what we saw last game, Moon Young Terran seems to be a defensive player. So we will see if they end up holding up to that playstyle, or are they an all-arounder jack-of-all-trades player? And yes, that's right, the natural here is kind of in a peculiar position. It's up the ramp, and a choke point here is used to defend. A little bit of some mountains, too, on this map for some airspace. So definitely Mutilus. I'm feeling Mutilus this game. It seems like they would do extremely well on this map based on the airspace and the many routes to leave. Of course, it might get a little dicey here because Terran will eventually get missile turrets. And if, say, Mutas were to attack here, some Marines are over here to kind of stop the Mutas, they'd have to go east. And once they go east, they're going to go into some more missile turrets. But then they could escape into some easy airspace here. So it's really going to come down to micro, which is an aspect that I'm sure is widely and obviously proclaimed. It comes down to the micro. Right. It does. Anyways, I think we have a hatch first, right? Yeah, it looks like a hatch first spawning pool extractor. Things looking pretty standard Ito. SCV scouting. We'll see. Looks like they're not going to spot their opponent immediately, but they will eventually. Obviously, Zerg is just droning. Important thing to note on this map, no mineral patches in the center. Instead, it's not there, obviously, but the bases to take in the center would be these 3 mineral patches here. Basically, my theory is that these bases are here to encourage both players to attack or get map control. Makes sense, right? So that's what these are. It seems like every user-generated map has that kind of key feature, and it just makes sense. You don't want both players just sitting there the whole game. You want things to happen. Change doesn't happen until things change, you know? Marines absolutely dome that drone. And they're actually moving out. Terran is definitely going to go bio this game. That is standard TVZ, it seems. We have a drone here. It looks like it's positioning to put down a sunken colony or a creep colony. 3 Marines moving out. Does Zerg have anything to defend? We have some Zerglings. We got 1 Zergling anyways. A couple more here as well. Marines are moving out. Let's see how much damage it could do. It's going to come down to the focus fire. Come down to the micro. You know, easy day. Looks like we have a 4th Marine, maybe even a 5th. Yeah, we have 5 Marines. So it looks like Terran being a little bit hesitant. Yep, Moon Young Terran going to their playstyle of, you know, putting on pressure, but not putting on too much pressure, you know. They seem like a balanced player so far. Pretty cool stuff. And we actually have a move out from 1, 2, 3. And it's not really going to do anything, obviously, because the wall off. So that is going to be interesting. Immediately going to get thwarted here. Spire is almost complete. Or 3/4 or a quarter of the way done. So as predicted, we are going to see some mutas. Just seems like the map to do it. And I think my theory will come true. And that would be awkward if he didn't make mutas at all. But opted to go for a Guardian Rush. That'd be crazy. It's not going to happen. Unless it does. That would be sick. Marines moving out. Try to just focus down these hold position Zerglings. We have a medic in the fray as well. Stim pack is halfway done as well. Absolutely essential versus mutas. And I don't think we have... Okay, we do have an engineering bay, which is halfway done. By the time this engineering bay is done, we should get missile turrets by the time the mutas come in. But the Zerglings may slip through. But actually, there's a fire bat. We don't actually see fire bats in TVZ that much. Not that I've seen. So there you go. We have a little bit of a bio ball moving out. Zergling's going to focus fire this medic. This is not looking good. Medic does live, though. Forcing a stim, though. So these minions are pretty low. Medic is still a little bit of exposed. It's more Marines being put on the field. We have that Marine range increase being upgraded, as well as +1 attack. Just a little bit of dancing on the field, and we have 6 Mutalisks about to pop out and deal some damage. And I think, yes, we do. We got some missile turrets going to be ready by the time they hit there. So there you go. This fire bat getting focused out. I think that was the single fire bat. It was. What was he doing over there? He was just trying to scout, I guess. I wish more fire bats were used in TVZ. That would be really fun to watch. Something so iconic about them. Ready to burn. All right. Mutalisks are moving out. They're going, interestingly enough, they're not going for... Okay, there we go. They are going for the main. And they actually do see the bio ball is outside of the base. So Mutalisks are... Oh, they're not going to... Okay, so they're going to opt to just kind of focus them down from afar. And the UDA charges aren't complete quite yet. They're about to be. And once that happens, these Marines will do a better job of defending against those mutas. Seems absolutely essential to get that upgrade. And a large amount of the Marines got focused down there. Muta's getting focused. 37 HP on that one Mutalisk. Gets focused down. This is the first time I've seen a game where mutas aren't used to harass the mineral line that much, but instead focus down the ground forces. Lots of stims being used. And these Mutalisks are getting focused down, and all they're doing is kind of trading Marines at this time. I wonder if Zerg knows that Terran just is going to end up defending this easily. Again, lots of stims, lots of dancing. And sipping of water. And I don't think we don't have a third from Terran. We actually don't have a third from Zerg right now. Saturation is a little low in the natural as well. Lots of mental capacity. Lots of micro being committed to these mutas. So macros falling a little behind here. Or they're just focusing on mutas, which it looks like they are. So there you go. As stated before, saturation in this game is not as important as StarCraft 2, where it has to be perfect. StarCraft 1, you get rewarded for actually having more bases. Lots of missile turrets to defend these barracks here. Muta's going straight for them. And let's see how much damage they can do. It seems like they're going to do a lot, but actually Terran is opting not to pull back and defend. They are going to go on the offense. Let's see how much damage Terran can do with this. And a starport getting focused down the SCVs, building them. That is lots of SCVs dying right now. Some missile turrets there to defend. Some Marines at the base. Let's see what the Bioball can do. We have some Sunken Colony to defend. No ground forces. I don't see really any Zerglings. It's all mutas right now. I wonder if Terran kind of predicted this and actually is forcing a pullback. Oh, just kidding. No, it looks like Zerg is going to go for the offensive again. And Terran's going to pull back too. That's no bueno. We do have some Marines to defend against this, though. And I'm curious why Terran did not commit there. Probably because of these Sunken Colonies. There are a lot. Missile turrets focusing down those Mutalisks. And actually, 1, 2, 3 ends up leaving. Huh. Okay. Well, a little anticlimactic, but all right. Our boy Mew on a freaking perfect streak right now. So there you go. All right, let's go into the fourth game. We have PvP. Let's do it. PvP, we have Fighting Spirit. We have Maria versus GG Apri-sun. GG Apri-sun. I feel like we've commentated on GG Apri-sun before. Map is Fighting Spirit. We all know Fighting Spirit. It's the classic map. We've all seen it. We've all played on it. If we've played StarCraft Brood War, how could you not have? If you haven't, well, there's exceptions for everything, I guess. Anyways, PvP bottom right, we have... Oh, God, it's hard to tell. I think this is GG Apri-sun. And then the top left is Maria. So there you go. PvP, you know, usually we see a lot of Dragoons. Usually we see a lot of Reavers. So we will most likely see that. And I feel like my Marinara is almost done. Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah, once my Marinara is done, I'm going to pull I'm going to just go take that off of the heat. If you don't mind. Sure you don't. It'll take like 5 seconds. Pylon being put down and actually opting to wall off. Looks like GG Present isn't going to end up doing that. So it just shows you the different types of play styles that different players have. It's pretty cool to see. No proxy shenanigans right now. Do have obviously this ramp here. And Maria's not gonna end up finding their opponent right away. Do have a scouting probe from GG Capri Sun. There's nothing really to tell at this point in the time. I don't think I've ever analyzed the airspace of this map, so I'm gonna go and do that. So there's this airspace here as well as this as well. I think this is a command center or a science vessel. No, this is a science facility. That's a decal. And obviously some bones. Lots of people love putting the bones on this map. This specific bone, by the way. They always do that. Pretty interesting. It's a simple decal to put down. Make the map pop a little bit more instead of just the boring pattern here, this pattern. Some plants. I didn't actually think about that. That, you know, people take the time to put every single decal detail on this map. Everything was placed almost like our creator. Cybernetic score going down. We will see Singularity charge pretty soon. We got some Zealots being produced right now. Will they be used for offense? We will certainly see. Okay, I am gonna pull the Marinara and then change out my launcher. Alright, thank you for waiting. I was also changing out the laundry, so I totally lied about the 5 seconds thing. It looks like there was a Zealot that moved in. I think that was GG Capri Suns. And we have a Nexus going down as well. Lots of catching up to do in just like a minute. Maria, it looks like, defended that Zealot assault. Pretty substantially large Zealot count for PvP. We don't usually see that much. It's usually a lot of Dragoons. Both players actually end up having significant Zealot count. I think that was because GG Capri Sun went for that offense, try to make something happen, which is cool to watch. Second gateway on the way. Actually, 3 more gateways. We're going to see 4 gate commitment right now before Robo and a Singularity charge. Will we see? I believe we are seeing a 1 base 4 gate in StarCraft 1, which I rarely see or have yet to see. Usually if it's 4 gates, StarCraft 2, because that build was crazy for a while. It was almost a guaranteed win at one point because of how stupid it was. It was awesome because I used it every time. That's how I got to Platinum, because I suck. All right, I'm just kidding. I didn't use it every game, but I used it a lot. Same with the freaking Sentry, Immortal Sentry. Oh, dude, that build was crazy. We got a Dragoon right here. Zealots are going to actually catch it out of position. GG Capri Sun reacts accordingly and pulls back. 3 Dragoons on the field. I don't think Maria is going to commit to the Zealot ground forces, but getting 2 gateways, actually 3 gateways as well. So what is going on? We see both players doing 4 gate. Might be more common than I've seen before. I don't usually see 4 gate that much. Usually it's robotics facility pretty quickly. Which we're not seeing here. We actually don't see any forge as well. No upgrades. This is commitment right now. But Maria has the advantage because of this natural expansion. 3 photon cannons to defend. Maria is in a good position right now. So we'll see. Pretty substantially large Dragoon count could be used to snipe at these hold position zealots. That could certainly be an avenue to go down. I think we heard something warping somewhere. Simulator, that was probably it. We don't see any robotics facility. Actually, Maria is getting a force. We'll start to get those upgrades. Dragoon immediately gets focused down, and these zealots get focused down as well. Photon cannons are here to defend. Zealots are getting a few slices in, stabs in, rather. The Dragoon count is really high right now, and they do a lot of damage. And smartly focus firing those photon cannons, pulling back, not committing too much, but there are 4 Dragoons to help in the defense of Maria. And if Maria can holds this, they are just in an excellent position with that natural expansion. More Dragoons reinforced from GG Capri Sun. More photon cannons being placed down. Dragoon count is higher for GG Capri Sun, but Maria has the choke point and the photon cannons. We'll see what it comes down to. There is a lot of focus fire. We have more Dragoons being produced right now. More focus fire as well. But the Dragoon count is getting lower for Maria. But so is GG Capri Sun. GG Capri Sun is still committing no tech, no expansion. This is it. This is what they are all in at this point. The classic one base all in. The longer that Maria defends, the better position that they are going to be in. And as you can see, 4 Dragoons. Man, it's not looking good for GG Capri Sun. This is just... Sure, there's a high amount of Dragoons, but Maria can just defend this easily. We actually have a robotics facility being produced, warped in for Maria right now, and the Dragoon count is actually higher for Maria. And you also have to think about the rally point here. It's a lot closer. GG Capri Sun obviously has to travel all the way across this map. I would not be surprised GG Capri Sun GG's right after these Dragoons die. I am betting my money right now. Photon cannon gets focused down. So micro going down as well. And that's it. Yep, there it is. All right, on to the next game. The 5th game. Let's do ZVZ, please. Yes. Sweet, we're getting that out of the way. Getting the mirror matchup out of the way so we can end on a good matchup. Let's do that. I like how we had the Zerg picture for the scoreboard, and it was a PvP. That was interesting. All right. Let's say ZVZ Radeon. We have our boy Chong and Wei Nanta. I don't think we've commentated Wei Nanta before, but the map is Radeon. And we have our boy. Wow. I actually I literally can't tell who's who. Wow. No, these literally look the same to me. Okay, this is slightly darker. I have to really look. But, wow. Okay. This is Wei Nanta. I'm going to assume this is Chung. Chung Grawang, our boy. We've seen him before. ZVZ. Most likely we will not see Hatch first. And if we do, they die. That's usually how it goes down. Obviously, there are going to be exceptions, I'm sure. This map is pretty large. You probably could get away with it. And if this Zerg player ends up scouting right first, that's more time to defend. But let's be real. It's a ZVZ. Not even Zergs want to play in Zerg versus Zerg. They want to build that spawning pool. They want to build those Zerglings. They want to go one base meta and kill their opponent. Most likely. Maybe even 2 base. They're feeling zesty. We'll see. There's a spawning pool. There it is. Do we see it for top left? We don't. We actually see saving up for hatchery. Nope, spawning pool. There it is. Cool. So slightly delayed, but it looks like bottom left is going to end up getting those Zerglings first. It's going to be really tough to see for me who's coming out on top in these fights, but that can make it more entertaining. So there you go. Glass half full. Stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, overlords are pushing right. And we will see some Zerglings relatively soon. Spawning pool and extractor is almost complete. And we have 2 sets of Zerglings that are popping out. I don't think... Oh my gosh, hatchery. Oh my god, and metabolic boost. Dude, was it from him? Yes, it is. Okay, we have a full commit here. We have metabolic boost. Not as... metabolic boost, I don't normally see that much in StarCraft 1 as opposed to 2, where you have to get it every time, no matter what build. So, I feel like since that's the case, Zerg's committing here. Bottom left is committing to the Zergling attack, and there is no hatchery in sight, so yes, this is probably a commitment. We actually see a lair. We're going to see some 1-base mutas here. But if top left can defend, the economic advantage will go down. In fact, getting metabolic boost themselves. Here we go. Let's see the engagement here. We have some drones being pulled off the line to try to defend, turn the tide of this mirror matchup a little bit, which will delay some mining. Significantly delay some mining. Lair is halfway done for bottom left. Hatchery almost done for top left. We do have a move out. Let's see what the Zerglings can do. Speed is complete. So the advantage is definitely going to go down for bottom left Zerglings. Hatchery again, focus down. Isn't going to die. Still lots of HP to defend. Lots of Zerglings to defend. And also the proximity is going to be closer, but bottom left is buying a lot of time to get those mutas inspired down. This is going to distract their opponent. Here we go. Some focus fire. It looks like bottom left ends up coming out on top. Not enough Zerglings to defend. Zerglings are on creep. Both players have speed right now. And this hatchery is actually going to get focused down. Ooh, this is not looking good for top left right now. Okay, looks like... Yep. All right. And, okay, that one comes out on top. All right, cool. Hatchery is going to get focused down. We're probably going to see a GG relatively soon, actually, after this. But Zerg can end up defending. Lair is almost complete for top left. And the hatchery actually not getting focused down. I'm surprised until maybe right now. Pretty soon, it's going to get focused down. Some more Zerglings to try to defend. The micro is simply just too great. But some more Zerglings to defend and pull this force back, and it does. Hatchery is halfway done for one of our players. We have a lair complete for top left. No guys on gas right now, by the way. All minerals, just pooling resources for Zerglings. And I think this is actually a run by from top left. No, I'm just kidding. This is bottom left. We do have top left forces moving here, it seems. Nice defense here. We have an evolution chamber, surprisingly. No Mutalisk right now. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Spire is not complete, but we do have enough. We do have enough resources for that. Here we go. Cloud9 is getting some. Chungrawang is getting some mutas right now. 2 to be exact. 3 actually. No hatchery in sight as well. And actually, top left's hatchery is still up. We have an evolution chamber being plopped down to try to supply a wall off. We actually have a spore colony being placed down somewhere. Oh, it's actually in the natural base for top left. Will we see a spore colony be plopped down here? Yes, we do. Mutas are on the field, though. It may be too late by the time the mutas come in, but there are only 2, so nothing too terribly scary to notice. And no saturation at all. Here we go. We have a creep colony. Will they have enough? Okay, spore is going down, but the mutas are here. How much damage can they do? The drones are going to get focused down first smartly. I like that move because it's going to delay a lot of mining here right now. Lots of drones. Okay, spore colony is complete. We have some drones being forced. Spore colony is there, and the saturation is simply extremely low for our top left player. It's just not looking good right now. But refusing to quit, I appreciate it. The hustle. I love that. Sung colony in this base. Looks like there was some Zergling run bys. Actually killing quite a bit of drones. And you also have to keep in mind, this is still 1 base from this player. So if top left can hold on and not quit, they can stay in this game. Despite the low saturation here, we're down to 4 drones. Mind you, 4 drones is what we start with. Just saying. And there's GG. Good, valiant effort. But it was looking pretty bleak at that point. So, there you go. All right. Let's go into our last game. The classic TVP. On the map, Deja Vu, we got Barcode versus Ikte. Ikte Isme. Here we go. Oops. Here we go. Top right of the map. We have Barcode as the orange. Yeah, orange. Orange Protoss. Bottom right, we have red Terran Ikte. Ixnay on the big day. Picked day. All right, so the map is Deja Vu. As seen before, mineral patches in the center. Pretty cool design actually on the mini map. You have you think this is like airspace. I don't think it is. I think this is all... No, I'm just kidding. These are actually ramps. It goes down. That's kind of cool. And then we have some Palantirs from Lord of the Rings here. So that's pretty cool. And also we have some kind of crevasses here on the map here, which is cool to see as well. So, Terran versus Protoss. Standard is Mech versus Protoss. Protoss ends up going Dragoon Reaper. Lots of mobility to try to counteract that Mech and try to do a lot of harassment. As my buddy David has mentioned before, Protoss plays a lot like a Zerg would typically play, which is kind of cool to see. Changes the whole dynamic of just being a quality over quantity force, of sitting and turtling. A lot of the time, that's usually the standard for Protoss is, yeah, we attack, but usually we like to attack with a death ball all at once we have our incredibly powerful forces. But you can't really do that versus Mech because Mech is pretty damn strong versus that, it seems. So you'll see a lot of harassment, lots of flanking, lots of basic war of attrition, you know, stuff like that, it seems. Barracks being constructed. A little bit of a wall off here for Terran as well. We have an assimilator. We have that cybernetics core. No Nexi first, no command center first at this time. And we have a SEV scouting at this time. We'll see what it ends up finding. It looks like it is on track to just getting. It's going west, so we will not see the Protoss opponent for a little bit. That is okay. That is okay. I don't think... Yeah, we have a little bit of airspace here. We have this cool kind of Protoss Cobra eagle thing. And then whatever this is. And look, it's kind of slightly off, too. It's slightly elevated in the sky. It looks like it's planted on the rock. Some of these decals are wild. Especially this one here, where the coral's sticking out of the water. Never really see that. Cool design on the main bases here as well. Actually, is this even a spawn point? I don't know, but I like this pattern. This pattern is pretty sick. This one too tells you something when the only thing to talk about is the design of the map. Nothing's going on in the early game, really. That's usually the time to just chill, talk about the map, talk about what's going to happen in the future. Another Scorpion Eagle thing. Here we go. We do have a Nexus coming out for Barcode. Trying to get some economic advantage here. I don't think Terran is actually not going for a command center, opting to get an earlier factory and a second factory as well. So I'm thinking we're going to see some vultures here pretty soon. Protoss is going to be in a nice position to defend against these run-bys, but you never know. Dragoon is actually on the field to try to do some harassment. I think one Dragoon versus two Marines. I think the Dragoon wins, not versus high ground though. One Marine's going to get focused down. Actually, this Dragoon's actually going to end up getting two Marines for free. Wow, Dragoons do really well versus Marines. This harassment's actually going to do really well. And I think the Dragoon's going to try to focus down this SEV for sure, forcing a pull off here. If this Dragoon survives, this will be extremely worth it. Terran losing a lot of Marines. This Dragoon doing a lot of more damage than I anticipated. And ending up going to focus down the supply depot. Looks like being used as a placeholder in order to macro. Getting a second gateway and a robotics facility. We're going 2-gate robo. We have a siege tank on the field. No siege research right now. But that siege will be more than plenty to stop this Dragoon. And getting a lot for getting a lot of bang for its buck, for sure. 3 kills, low HP, but those shields can regenerate quite easily. And some more Dragoon buddies to back it up. And Protoss is getting an economic advantage here, looking really strong. As mentioned before, it seems like Protoss is extremely high favored versus Terran in the early game until Terran starts powerhousing. So we'll see if Terran ends up doing that. We don't see a command center right now. Will we see some kind of all-in? Only time will tell. We have an observatory coming out for Protoss as well. So we're going to see some information gathering. Spider Mine being researched right now for vultures. And we have 1 vulture on the map right now. Looks like we have a, second one coming out. So we're going to see lots of vulture production. We have actually 3 siege tanks and a marines. We actually see a push out for Terran with some SCVs. That is, I don't really see it that much. So we'll see some, looks like we're going to see a bunker push with some siege tanks. We don't see siege research. We see siege research, say that 5 times fast. We got 3 pylons, 4 pylons. Those 3 pylons to help with the choke point here. We have 5 dragoons. Let's see, 6 dragoons. Let's see how much damage is going to be done. Spider mines being placed down. Probes being forced off the line to try to proc these spider mines. Lots of probes being focused down. There is still 1 spider mine right here. I think Protoss knows is getting an observer. I actually didn't think about this. Observer would be used for the spider mines. More spider mines being placed down. Vultures getting focused down. Boys being pulled off the line. Spider mines not being able to be used on the workers here. I don't think they could focus workers, just units. Lots of probes getting focused down. Still quite a few dragoons on the map. This Terran offensive is looking really strong, and it is a 1 base all in. So if Protoss can hold here, this will look really good for Barcode. Observers on the field, which will help in those spider mines for sure. I don't think Terran has a comm set. No comm set to take care of those observers, so that is going to be some free reign to take out those spider mines. Siege tank is research. We have a shuttle right now, more dragoons, some zealots being plopped down as well. But you have to keep in mind this is just two gateways to resupply and reinforce this Protoss force. Spider mines being used right now. Both players on 1 base right now. Pylon getting focused down as well, and actually supply blocking our Protoss player. 3 pylons coming out right now to try to mitigate that. And vultures are just on a nice spot to defend. This is a tough push to stop. We have a robotics support bay being plopped down right now. We have some zealots in the shuttle to try to plop down on the siege tanks. Unfortunately, not being that effective. These SCV being used to kind of block the drop off, actually, and the siege tank not getting focused down that well. This is just a tough spot for Protoss to be. But if Protoss remains patient, they could still stay in this game. No anti-air to stop this, by the way. We have a couple dragoons on the SCV, the siege tank here, and both dragoons actually dying right now. Some more dragoons here to try to defend. Some vultures getting focused down. And the high ground going in favor. One of the siege tanks actually going down. That is pretty big. And that shuttle still being used. We got that Reaver coming out. Once that Reaver comes out, we'll definitely see some siege tank snipes. Terran opting to get their bit. And there's actually GG from Barcode. That's it. They end up just calling it quits after that game. Kind of a anticlimactic game to end on. But, well, it was still kind of cool to see. I've never seen a Terran push quite like that. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, others, thank you so much for watching this episode of Nipaa TV. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.